welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we are doing part 2 of our Hallmark Christmas previews. It feels like, how can we do a preview when we're already in the middle of the season? But that is the situation that's before us. So we're really excited to talk about and give you our thoughts about what these films might maybe be like. We'll see. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Alys Murray's here.
Hi.
You're back.
I'm back. I'm so excited to finally talk about the rest of our very exciting countdown to Christmas slate. Let's do it.
It was only a couple weeks ago, yet it feels much longer than that to me.
It does. So many Christmas movies, so little time.
Yeah, that's right. And did you have a good Halloween?
I did. I stayed home and watched movies literally from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. And then I couldn't go to sleep because I had watched too many scary movies. It's one of those conundrums. Classic dilemma.
We used to watch a Christmas movie to kind of cleanse the palate.
Oh yes, I did. I watched Christmas Sale the next day. That's how I woke up.
Very good. All right. Well, let's remind people that we have our little preview ranking system, and we should also remind that these scores mean nothing. There can be polls that end up being diamond rings and reverse. Even just this last weekend, we had the Christmas Promise, which I had given a sock to, and it was incredible and one of my favorites. And so you never know. This is just a way to kind of get some hype for these movies to talk about them. And so it's all in fun. But we have our preview system. We have a coal for least excited. Then we have a sock. And then we have an orange and a diamond ring. So that's how we preview. And we'll put a link down to part 1 of the preview plus the 2 recaps we've already had and in the description. So make sure you check that out. And let's dive in. Let's do it. First one is on the 12th, and it is a Hallmark Channel, Open by Christmas. This stars Alison Sweeney, Erica Durance, and Brennan Elliott. Director David Weaver, who we just had on the podcast, and was a really good one. I really liked that interview, and he's great. And he's going to be the guest for our patron watch along in December. So if you haven't signed up for the Patreon, you really should. It's only $2 a month, and it is well worth your time. This month, we have on the 20th, we have Anna White joining us, who's a great writer. She's awesome. And we're going to watch Check Into Christmas. So don't want to miss that. It's going to be really fun. So take a look at all of that. But this summary is still relatively brief on this one. It's when Nikki finds an unopened Christmas card from a high school secret admirer, she and her best friend Simone search to find and thank the anonymous author. So yeah, I mean, I had told you last time that these kind of searching movies usually are not my favorite. But I like Allison. I like Brennan. I feel like that's a good match, a good pairing. I feel like they'll have chemistry. And I like David Weaver. I don't know the writer. So I think this one, I'm going to give a nicer sock. The plot sounds a little boring to me, but I'm excited about the other ingredients. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Like, I think the pitches that don't really grab me, it's all about that chemistry. And if they can sell the chemistry, it'll be great. But for now, I think I'm going to give it a little sock.
Yes. Okay, good. All right. Then we have My Christmas Family Tree, and this on the 13th, and it's Hallmark Channel. Amy Teagarden, Andrew Walker, James Tupper, this director, Jason Bork, who did Christmas Tree Grows in Colorado last year, which I loved. And writer Mark Hefty, who's done a number of these. And it's when Vanessa receives the results from her family tree DNA test, she discovers a family she didn't know existed and travels to their home for Christmas. And it looks like from the trailer, they have released a promo for this. It looks like it's kind of almost like a Very Merry Mix-Up in the sense that like she gets to know the family, and then it turns out it's actually not her family, and there's been some kind of mix-up in the DNA results. Yeah. And so I think that's how they're going to like rationalize her getting together with Andrew Walker, because that would be like super weird if he was actually her brother. But like my guess is that
you got some clueless vibes going on there.
Yeah. My guess is that they'll get like super close, and then she finds out that it's not really her brother, and then it's like, oh well, you're actually part of the family anyway, because now we're in this relationship or something. I don't know.
Oh,
That's just my guess. I mean, I think they're gonna end up together, and so unless he's actually not a brother, maybe he's like a friend of the family or something like that.
yeah.
But nevertheless, I think the pitch is gonna be, you're part of the family anyway. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I actually I don't want her to be in a relationship with her brother. That is not what I'm saying. But I actually like the original pitch more of like, oh, I had this family I didn't know
yeah.
existed. Like that seems like a really sweet Christmas premise. I
Mhm.
like a very merry mix up, but it's like one of my favorite Hallmark
Yeah.
ever. So it's
Right.
like it's gonna be hard to
High
top.
bar.
Now I like Andrew Walker. I'm hoping they can do it for me. I hope they can pull it out. But I guess I'm gonna give this an orange.
Yeah, I mean, the Hanukkah movie last year was kind of a similar plot with this
Mm.
girl finding out her family, and through DNA test, and then understand like whole new culture and everything like that. So and that was cute, and they had the Fred Savage character. He was or Ben Savage, I forget which one. Anyway, Ben Savage, and he was like friend of the family. So again, that's how they kind of get away from that. So we'll see what they do. But I'm not convinced about this pairing is my little bit of worry.
Mm.
Even though I like both of them individually, I feel like he seems way older than her to me. And he even joked the last time he was on the podcast, he's like, what am I robbing the cradle here? And I actually think
Oh
it's
no.
under 10 years, the difference between the two of them in age. But nevertheless, I just so identify her as a teen character and as a young
Mm.
character. So I think I identify her as younger than she probably actually is in real life. And so that makes it just feel weird to me. I just
No,
not
I
sold on the
agree.
chemistry.
Yeah, I agree. And it's also like it's not like Hallmark doesn't also have a bunch of really talented actresses in Andrew's like more direct age range.
Hmm.
So yeah, that does a bit concern me now that I'm thinking about not concerned, but it does kind of trip me up a bit
Yeah.
on the
He's
chemistry. I think you're right about that.
he's 10 years older than her. She's
Yeah.
32, he's 42. And she looks younger than that to me.
Yeah.
There's a young look. So that's my worry about this one. But it could still win me over. I'm going to give it a sock. Next, we have on the 13th, we have One December Night. This is on Hallmark News Mysteries. Stars Peter Gallagher. Bruce Campbell is going
Oh, I love it.
Louise Mumford and Brett Dalton. This director Claire Niederprom has done tons of these. Writer Eric Brooks. And it's two music managers must put their history aside to oversee the televised reunion performance of their rock star fathers with a fractured past. So this one actually feels almost less like a romance, although you'll have Eloise Mumford and Brett Dalton. But I feel it seems like the leads are almost more this sort of bromance kind of a thing
Hmm.
going on.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be honest, usually if you put music in a pitch for a Hallmark movie, it is the bottom of my list. I am like
Okay.
absolutely not. Like I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
Uh-huh.
Anytime it's like country music star, I'm like, nope, I'm out. However, I have actually met Peter Gallagher a bunch of times. He was really good friends with one of my old bosses, and he is literally one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. And I mean, come on, Bruce Campbell, are you kidding me? Bruce Campbell in a Hallmark movie? Like, we're watching that forever. That's
Yeah.
a new classic in my home.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I absolutely cannot wait. This is a diamond ring. I could give it a million diamond rings. I'm just so excited. I'm
Yeah.
just thrilled. I can't
And
believe this is a movie that Hallmark decided to make, and I'm so happy they did.
me too. I mean, he's been really funny on social media too, talking about it,
Mhm.
and him and like the rest of the cast have been going back and forth, and I'm going to be in a Hallmark movie and all this stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, Peter Gallagher. I mean, while you were sleeping, come on. I mean, he's already a Christmas
Yeah.
legend. So um, yeah, I agree. Diamond Ring. I'm really hopeful about this one, and I feel like Eloise Mumford and Brett Dalton is a good mix too.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Then we have Holiday in Harlem on the 14th. This is Hallmark Channel. Olivia Washington, Will Adams, Tina Lifford, director Keith Powell, and who is new to Hallmark, and writer Monique N. Matthews. This is her first film ever, according to IMDb at
Yay.
least. So, way to go. That's awesome. And it's after her grandmother, Mama Belle, turns away her usual gift delivery, expecting presents over presents. Jet setting executive Jasmine heads uptown to Harlem for a quick visit. However, when Mama Belle is injured, Jasmine agrees to stay in the neighborhood and take over, co-chairing their block's annual Christmas jamboree with her old best friend Caleb. A successful corporate fixer, Jasmine expects the job to be easy, but quickly finds that she has a lot to learn about the community and her heart. So, what do you think about that?
I'm not a big party planning movie gal. They're just really hard to pull off. It's hard
Mhm.
to make me care. Like, I've planned a wedding, I've planned parties. I know you can do it. It's okay. It's fine. Managing personalities, whatever, it's hard, but it's not like the stakes just aren't super high for me. However, I do love that Hallmark this year is really investing in diversity, which I mean, I think that's awesome. But then also, like, I love that more of these movies are set in cities.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
we've seen so many Hallmark small towns, and to get movies that are set really a kind of richly in big cities is really nice and fun and different. So I'm really excited about this one. And then at the end of the movie, the heroine doesn't have to pick between like New
Nice.
York and the small town. She's like, oh, I'll just take the L train, like I think that's really exciting and
Yeah.
fun. And this could offer some new kind of takes on the kind of Christmas party movie.
Yeah, I mean the plot sounds fairly basic, but it'll come all down to chemistry, and I don't know
Mm.
either of these actresses. So that we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited about those things that you're excited about. So I'm going to give it an orange, and hopefully it will surprise. So I was going to also preview a little bit, sort of what we have planned for the podcast. So the four movies we've already talked about, it's going to be fun. That week, we are planning on having Carrie Francis, who's an actress who was on our show last year, and she was great. She was on Knives Out. She's really fun. And then we're also going to have Jax from Bubbly Sesh
Oh,
here. So
awesome.
I thought that would be a fun one to have two actresses to comment on these films. So that's the current plan. This podcast is going to air on Sunday the 7th, and for the movies on the 9th, those four, we are going to have Elisa Lucas, who does On Friendship with Me. And so she's going to be there for that recap. So that's going to be a ton of fun. I always look forward to anytime I get to talk to her. Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies. Next, we have on the 19th, we have on Hallmark Channel, we have Nantucket Noel. And this is Trevor Donovan, Sarah Power, writer Kirsten Hansen. And Christina learns of a developer who is planning to tear down the wharf that is home to her toy store. Tensions rise as she falls for the developer's son, Andy. What do you think about this?
I hope they tear down the wharf. That's my Christmas wish. I hope she loses the toy store. I know that may sound super harsh, but I feel like even if we got one movie where they finally did it, then I would believe in every single one that followed that it was possible. Because I think there's something really weirdly like commercial about it. Like, I can't be happy if I don't own this thing anymore. Like, I wish someone would have the guts to be like, no, you don't need that thing. You have the people you love and you can do something else and they're all going to be there to support you in the end. Like, I'm going off about a movie I haven't even seen yet. I'm so sorry, Nantucket Noel. I'm going to give it like a cold, dusty orange. It's I'm not a huge Trevor Donovan fan. He always looks to me, he's one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen. He looks like he should be a soap opera villain. He's just so symmetrical and perfect. So I'm just like, I want to believe.
Yeah. So I've said it a million times on this podcast, but people always compare stories like this to You've Got Mail. Thing about You've Got Mail is she actually loses the store. She has to grow. She has to change. She has to become, she's becoming an editor and she ends up becoming this new person. And they never do that. So there's never the stakes in a Hallmark movie. The closest I can think of is in True Love Blooms with Sarah Rue, when she actually had to come up with a new way of doing the community garden. That was as close as I can think of actually having stakes in one of these kind of movies. That doesn't mean it can't be charming if there is chemistry, if it works. But again, I don't want to be mean, but I'm not a big fan of Kirsten Hansen's writing. She usually doesn't work for me. I did like her movie last year, Cross Country Christmas, so I give her credit for that. But she's made some ones I really disliked. Got Christmas on My Mind. I really didn't like Return to Christmas Creek. I really didn't like that. And she was the writer for Chesapeake Shores before this season. I really didn't like that. So she tends to not write conflict in a way that's satisfying for me. In fact, it's like usually actively frustrates me, the way that these characters act and the way that they deal with conflict. So that's a big negative for me. And again, I'm sure she's a loving human. It's just different people like different kinds of writing. And the thing that I guess would make me not want to cull this, I'm pretty close, is that I am happy to see Sarah Power get a lead in a Hallmark movie, because she's been on Good Witch all these seasons. She's never been in one, even in a supporting role to my knowledge. So that's kind of exciting to me to see her. But I don't know. I think I might give it a call. Sorry, Sarah. But I hope it'll surprise me. I hope it'll be great. We'll see. But yeah. So then we have A Christmas Together with You. This is on the 20th, the Hallmark Channel. This is Harry Lennox, Laura Vandervoort, Niall Mater, director Kevin Fair, and writer Graham Locke. This is, according to IMDb at least, this is his first script that he's ever done. So very good. And Kevin Fair, of course, directed most of the Signed, Sealed, Delivered shows and movies. So that's exciting. And it's during the Christmas season, Megan and her father figure Frank head out on a road trip to find his long lost love. Along the way, Megan finds the love of her own life. So yeah, what do you think of this?
I really like Niall Mater. Again, this kind of feels like a searching movie, which I'm not super jazzed on, but I'm hopeful. We got some new blood in the writer's room, and it could be exciting for sure. And all the Signed, Sealed, Delivered movies are very well directed, in my opinion. So I think, I'm optimistic.
Yeah, and I like Laura Vandervoort. I feel like she and Niall will have pretty good chemistry. I'm hopeful. And I can like a good kind of road trip movie. Like I love Road to Christmas is one of my favorites.
Oh, that was years. So good. Yeah,
it's really good. And that had a new writer as well. So maybe we'll get lucky with this one. I'm going to give this one an orange, and I hope that the plot does sound pretty basic, but fingers crossed.
I'm going nice socks. Nice socks over here.
Okay, good. All right. Then on the 20th on Hallmark Movies Mysteries, we have 5 More Minutes. This is Nikki DeLoach and David Hayden Jones. And it's inspired by Scotty McCreery's song 5 More Minutes. A woman's Christmas wish is answered in unexpected ways when her late grandfather's journal turns up and reveals an untold romance. What do you think?
Ooh, I'm intrigued. I'm fascinated. I can't wait. There's so much mystery. Finally, a Hallmark movie's a mystery. I'm thrilled.
I mean,
You know,
I'm wondering
I haven't seen a ton of Nikki DeLoach, so I'm not sure about like what her kind of persona is or anything like that. But I'm fascinated by a little romance mystery. Let's do it.
Yeah, I love Nikki. She's been doing a lot of like marriage and crisis movies the last couple of years. That I don't know, that have been, I guess they've had mixed results, but she's always good. And then she did Two Turtle Doves, which was one of my favorites of recent years. That one was great. So yeah, and David Hayden Jones, for a while, he was like one of the kings of Hallmark. He was in tons, but he hasn't been in one, I feel like, for a little while. So that'll be fun to see him back. And I don't know this song. I'm assuming I'm going to hear it like a million times before this movie. But yeah, I mean, it sounds sweet enough. I'm going to give this sock, but hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah,
I'm going to give like a Bomba sock. Like a nice sock. Okay. So, oh wait, we have one more. Okay. Then on the 21st, Hallmark Channel, we have A Kiss Before Christmas. James Denton, Terry Hatcher, Mary Lou Henner, director Jeff Beasley, writer Mark Arnotto, and Tracy Andreen, who we love. And yeah, when nice guy Ethan casually wishes his life had taken a different course, he wakes up the next day to find nothing is the same. He's not married to his wife Joyce. He doesn't have 2 teenage kids, and he's CEO of his company. If he wants to reclaim his original life and family he loves, he must convince Joyce he's telling the truth and win her over, and he only has until Christmas.
Ooh.
So, yeah, family man kind of story. And I'm usually a pretty big fan. I love movies where people like switch places or, that kind of a thing. And this weekend is like Good Witch weekend, because you got Sarah Power and James Denton both in movies, and Terry Hatcher, her first Hallmark movie. So yay, welcome to Hallmark. And of course, I love and adore Mary Lou Henner. She's like my friend in real life. We actually text quite a bit.
Aww.
I love her. Yeah, I don't know how objective I really am on this movie because it has so many ingredients, because I love Tracy as well. But I think it genuinely sounds really fun and creative, and I feel like James Denton is up for this. So I'm gonna give this a diamond ring. We'll see what it ends up being, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah, these kind of movies, I'm total opposite of you. They always make me kind of sad because it's like there's always a trade-off, right? And that makes me so sad. Like I want everyone to have everything they ever wanted, and I want what they have to be everything they ever wanted. So it also, starting off the summary with nice guy, I'm like, oh no, it's Reddit. Get off Reddit. No, but actually, the longer you went on in the summary, the more I kind of bought in, because it almost feels like one of my favorite parts of It's a Wonderful Life is the moment where he sees Mary when she walks out of the library. Like it's just like you can see him be like, oh, I'm not going to be with the one person who makes me happy in this whole world. Right. Like that moment makes the movie. So like this is like a whole movie of that moment. Like I have to get my wife back because she is the thing that makes all of this matter. Like that's amazing, and I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna give this like a sparkly orange.
Okay, well, at least this one though, he doesn't have like a fake family, because a lot of times when you have the family man, like in Family Man, like the whole everything that's being built up is fake. It's not real. Like in this case, he has the family to start with and then loses it and has to get it back. I think that's significantly better than the other scenario. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so for that episode of the podcast, we have planned to have Anne and Colleen on that episode for recapping. Colleen did the Francast with me, and she's great. She's been on a number of times, and so that's going to be very fun. Okay, then next we have on the 25th, We have the 9 Kittens of Christmas, and this stars Brandon Routh and Kimberly Seston, of course, and Gregory Harrison. Director David Winning, writer Irene Dobson, and it's Zachary and Marilee are thrown back together at Christmas when they're tasked with finding homes for a litter of adorable kittens. Like, of course, we're all very hyped for this, but Hallmark sequels usually aren't very good. So I'm like, I want to tell everybody to moderate your expectations.
Temper expectations.
Ooh, moderate your expectations. And also, I'm a little concerned about why are they being thrown back together? What? That worries me.
That was my, like, alarm bells went off. Like, sleigh bells were like, ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh no, what happened to them between the first and the second? Yeah. Oh, I'm so nervous.
So, yeah, I mean, you want to give this a diamond ring, but I'm a little cautious. Is it like, can I do like a can I do like a pawn shop diamond ring that I can take back?
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing a diamond with a gift receipt for sure.
Okay, good.
Diamond ring with a gift receipt.
Okay, good. And we're still working on that one. I'm hopeful that we can have the rom-com gents on because they're really great. And we covered the original film on there recently with them. So I think that would be really fun. But we haven't finalized everything yet. So we'll see. But we're definitely going to do that one as its own standalone episode. Then on the 26th, we have the Christmas CEO and a Hallmark Channel that stars Marisol Nichols and Paul Green, and director Jonathan Wright, and writer Anna White, who again we love. She's great. And it's a small toy company CEO gets a once-in-a-lifetime offer to merge with a mega toy company, but will need her estranged ex-business partner's signature to seal the deal. So, yeah, what do you think of this?
I think, it's a little thin on the ground, just like from that summary, but I'm excited about it. I like them being more ex-business partners than ex-whatevers, like exes. So I'm interested to see how they kind of navigate all of this without it becoming too like businessy. Also Christmas CEO, you could basically call 60% of Hallmark Christmas movies Christmas CEO. There was not a whole lot of they didn't spend a whole lot of time on that one in the brainstorming process.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a sock, but I hope that it's good. I mean, I love Anna, so that kind of gives me a hope that I think it'll be good. And I think Marisol and Paul should have pretty good chemistry. I feel like it's been a couple years since he did a Christmas movie that wasn't When Calls the Heart. So that's kind of fun to have him back. So then on the 26th, we have The Unexpected Christmas, Hallmark Channel, Bethany Joy Lentz and Tyler Hines. This is written by Paul Campbell, so that's exciting. And it's Jamie hasn't told his family that he and his now ex-girlfriend Emily broke up. After an inopportune run-in with Emily at the train station in his hometown, Jamie convinces her to pretend they're still a couple to avoid ruining Christmas for his family. Jamie and Emily engage in a week-long ruse of engaging in his family's holiday activities together. While they're stuck in his family's home together, the pair discovers their relationship might still have some potential, resulting in a very unexpected Christmas. So what do you think?
I love a fake relationship. I know a lot of people don't because it feels like lying, and I totally get that. But counterpoint, it's awesome and fun. Yeah. I am very excited about this one. If my ex-boyfriend came and asked me to pretend for his family, I would just walk into the house and be like, hello, Merry Christmas, we're broken up. And then I would leave. So I'm very excited to see how this happens for them. And a Paul Campbell script, I'm very interested to see how that plays out. So yeah. I'm going to give it like a really shiny orange. We're going shiny orange.
The only time it annoys me as far as the lying part of it is when like the character can't let it go. You know, like then it annoys me. If they're just like, oh, that was not the best choice, but I'm still in love with you, so it's just a funny story we're going to tell our kids. Love it. That's how I want all these to respond. But if they're like pouty about it, then I'm like, oh, you're ruining it. You're making it not fun, and it was fun. But I mean, Bethany Joy, she's really wonderful, and Tyler Hines, of course. Great. Paul Campbell script. I'm going to give it a diamond ring. I hope it'll be great. I think it will be. So those two on the 26th, the plan is to have Jess and Caroline both on for those two. So that should be fun to have them. Okay. Then on the 27th, we have Hallmark Movies Mysteries. We have time for them to come home for Christmas. They're running out of pronouns here. They've done you and me and us, and now we're at them.
All y'all.
And Jesse Schramm, Brendan Penny. During the holidays, a woman with amnesia catches a ride with her handsome nurse to investigate the only clue to her identity, a newspaper clipping for a Christmas festival with a cryptic invitation.
Wow. Okay, so I have to confess, I have never seen any of the movies in the series. I don't know. Did she get amnesia at the end of the last movie? I don't know.
No, they're
I'm
each like
fascinated.
standalone stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they all revolve some kind of road trip is the idea, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got it. Come home for Christmas. Okay.
Yeah.
So Amnesiac, Jessie Schramm, I'm in. Oh my gosh, I love her. I think she is such a good actress. She's so good for Hallmark. Like, she's really fresh and fun. I'm so excited for this. Also, how do you rope your hot nurse, to come on a road trip with you? I would love instructions. I am married, so maybe like send it past me, but that sounds amazing. I would love the manual. Very excited for this. This is a diamond ring, even though I've never seen any of these movies before. Also, how do you write a cryptic invitation to a Christmas festival? I can't wait to uncover this secret.
And it's in the newspaper clipping.
Yes.
The invitation. So that's a lot of layers going on here. I am not the biggest Brendan Penny fan. I find him to be kind of smug and not my favorite presence on screen. But he can win me over. I love Dash of Love, and he's in that. And so it depends. But yeah, I love Jessie. She is the best. And so, yeah, they haven't made a good amnesia movie in a while. The last one they did was one of Kirsten Hansen's ones that I hated. So hopefully this one will win me over. I'm going to give it an orange, like a cutie orange, I think. And I hope it'll be good. Okay, then we have Making Spirits Bright on the 27th, Hallmark Channel. This stars Taylor Cole and Carlo Marx, and director David Bercovici, Arteta. Sorry, I butchered your name. It's two families are in the business of decorating homes for Christmas. They have been in a feud for a long time. They need to find a way to get everyone to work together in order to win a town competition that could save their jobs. We got a little Romeo and Juliet thing going on here. What do you think?
Chris's Romeo and Juliet, I'm sold. I think that's hilarious. I can't wait. And I don't think I know I've seen like, oh, she decorates houses for Christmas, but I don't know if I've ever seen like team putting up the lights, kind of doing the house for Christmas on Hallmark yet. I'm sure it's there. I probably just haven't seen it. So I'm excited to see kind of the new twist on it.
Yeah.
New-ish twist.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me a little bit of, I can't think of the name of it, with Jonathan Bennett and Alexa Pinavega. They had that kind of, she was like a decorator for her career, and kind of reminds me of that one a little bit. But yeah, I think it could be fun. I feel like Taylor and Carla will have pretty good chemistry. They seem like a good match to me. And so I'm going to go ahead and also give it an orange. So hopefully it'll be good. And then on the 27th, we have Christmas at Castle Hart. This stars Lacey Chabert and Stuart Townsend. And it's Brooke Bennett goes to Ireland for Christmas to search for her Irish roots. While there, she meets Aidan Hart, Earl of Glasgow. Mistaken for an elite event planner, she's hired to host his castle's epic Christmas party. So, what do you think?
Again, please send me the instruction manual for how to make these things happen. I would love for is it an Earl to mistake me for a party planner?
To mistake her for an elite event planner.
Yes, please, royalty, mistake me for an elite event planner. Like sometimes, like one of my favorite things is when people talk about like romance novels or Hallmark movies, and they're like, "Oh, that's just wish fulfillment." And I'm like, "Yeah, What
Right.
you're saying that like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this movie forever. This sounds amazing. I'm not a huge Lacey Chabert fan. She's not my like all-time queen of Christmas, but I think this could be really fun. And I love Ireland. I really do like when these movies kind of like go outside the small town. I mean, this will be kind of a small
Mhm.
town-ish in Ireland, but different background. I
Yeah.
think could be really fun and fresh. So I'm gonna give it like
Sometimes
an orange. Yeah.
sometimes they get a little lazy with the location on location movies, and I feel like they don't try as hard as they need with the story. Like, I wasn't a big
Mm.
fan of Christmas in Rome or Christmas in Vienna. Those were both disappointing. But I hope that I will enjoy this. For the most part, really enjoyed Lacey. I thought that she had a very strong year last year. She was actually in the Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas. I think it was Us. That was the one. And that was pretty good. And then she was in the Christmas Waltz, which I absolutely love and adored. It was so good. So she had a really good year last year, and hopefully, and I also like Winter in Vale. That was good in the early part of the year. So hopefully she will continue on that trend. There was a really boring Irish movie this year as luck would have it or something like that. It was very disappointing. So you can't lean on the location. You still have to have a good script. So I'm gonna give this a orange, but a hopeful orange. We'll see. Hope it'll be good. And that on the 27th, we are going to have our podcasting friend, Me Too. She has a podcast called The Pilot Podcast, which is really fun, where she reviews pilots of shows. Anyway, she's great. And Carrie from Hallmark Comics is also going to be on there. So for that episode is the plan currently. Okay, the 28th of November, we have Christmas in Tahoe. This stars Laura Osnes, Kyle Selig, Pat Monahan, and George Lopez. Director Robert Lieberman, writer Stephanie Jackson, Zach Lewis, and Nina Wyman is on that one. This follows Claire, an aspiring talent booker, as feelings come back between her and her boyfriend after looking for his help to be her big act at her family's hotel and casino, and realize they may need each other more than they remembered. That is a very long sentence. Run on sentences. What do you think of this one?
I'm gonna give this a coal with some sock fuzz on it, and the sock fuzz is all Nina Wyman. This just is not my cup of tea. It's not with performers I particularly enjoy. I've been to Tahoe. I'm just it's just not. This one isn't going to be for me. I'm pretty sure of that already.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give this a sock, but it'll totally depend on chemistry. We'll see how the chemistry ends up being for me if it works. Okay, then we have the Christmas contest. This is on the 28th. It stars Candace Cameron Bray, John Brotherton, Barbara Niven, director Paula L., and writer Joie Boken, who is a star. We love Joie. She's amazing. And it's exes Laura and Ben compete in a Christmas contest to win money for the charity of their choosing. The city watches them battle and choose what is more important, victory or love. So, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, again, I think this is gonna be a call from me. I'm not taken by it, unfortunately. This one just isn't for me, I don't think.
Mm-hmm. I think it sounds like it could be kind of fun. We'll see. I only watched one season of Fuller House, so I don't know this John Brotherton that well. But I know people that are fans of the show really like him and Candace's chemistry. And I love Joie. She, for the most part, has really nailed it as far as scripts. So I'm going to give this an orange. I hope it'll be good. All right, then we have wait, skip that. Okay, and those two movies are going to be covered by. We're going to have Casey and then Shawl and from Bubbly Sesh and then Bree on to cover those two movies. So that should be really fun. All right, then on the 3rd of October, we have the 8 Gifts of Hanukkah on Hallmark Channel. This is Inbar, Lavi, and Jake Epstein. And it's a woman journeys to find her secret admirer during Hanukkah. We don't have much out there. But I I, for the most part, have enjoyed the Hanukkah movies that they have done. I mean, I'm obviously not an expert on this subject, but I think they've been fun. And I like Jake Epstein, so I'm gonna give this an orange. I that'll be one of my 8 gifts. 8 oranges. That's what I'm gonna give it. What about you?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I think that I really appreciate, because I've checked this on Twitter. Someone did tell me this is like a Hanukkah movie. It's not one of the kind of Hallmark Marvel crossover events where it's Hanukkah and Christmas team up to defeat
Right.
like Grinchiness in the winter. So I'm very excited. It's like a tried and true actual Hanukkah movie, and I like Secret Admirer movies. I know they usually kind of turn out to be like search movies, but I always wanted a secret admirer when I was younger. That was like my teenage girl dream, was to have a secret admirer. So I'm excited for this. I'm going to give this like an orange. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then we have A Very Merry Bridesmaid, and this is on the 4th at Hallmark Channel. This stars Emily Osment and Casey Diedrich, director David L. Strasser, and writer Tracy Andreen and Elena Valdez. And it's Leah's 30th birthday is on the same day as her brother's wedding. Her childhood crush is back in town for the wedding, and he is determined to make sure her birthday does not go by the wayside. So I really like Emily Osment. She did Christmas in, I think, Wonderland is what it was called, and it was a good one that year. And I just feel like she's a great fit for Hallmark. So I'm glad to see her back because it's been a couple years since then. So that's cool. And of course, I love Tracy. She's great. So I'm going to give this. I want to give it a diamond ring. Maybe I will give it a diamond ring. I'm really hopeful. I think it will be good.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, rude, like rude to put your wedding on your sister's birthday. I put my wedding the day before my aunt's birthday, and I have literally never heard the end of it. So, and that was the day before. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, first of all, just that's rude, offensive. But we love Tracy Andreen. I'm really excited for this one. And I'm going to give it like a nice shiny orange.
Yeah.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
All right. Then we have our Christmas journey. This is on the 4th, and it's Holly Robinson Pete, Lyric Bent, and Nick Sanchez. As a single mom and her teenage son with autism come to a crossroad during Christmas, she must learn to let go so he can flourish as she finds her own heart healing in unexpected ways. And this Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, we talked about this a little bit last time. I don't remember what score we gave, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I think I gave it an orange. It does sound a little sad. It's appropriate for movies and mysteries, I think, is probably what I should say. It's appropriate for movies and mysteries. And I'm really excited that it's going to be like, I love to see the neurodiversity on Hallmark. I love to see that they're actually highlighting more kinds of people. And I think it's awesome that it's such a passion project for Holly Robinson Pete. I think it's amazing that she's put so much into Hallmark and they're letting her make this movie that's so important to her. So yeah, I'm excited. I think I'm going to stick with orange.
Yeah, and I hope that it seems like with her involvement, it'll avoid kind of after school special kind of feel to it, like disease of the week kind of feel. So hopefully it won't do that and it'll be good. So I'm also going to give it an orange, and we'll see how it turns out. And that episode, we are going to have Stacey Agner on. She's been on all of the episodes that have been Hanukkah related since we started this podcast. And she has a book, Love and Latkes, out this season, which is really fun. So people should check that out. So we're going to have her on. And then I think Caroline's also going to be on, who has worked with in her job, she works with or has worked with kids with autism. So we thought it would be a fun place for her. So then we have on the 5th and on the 12th, we have our Sister Swap movies. The first one is Sister Swap Part 1, A Hometown Holiday. And this stars Kimberly Williams Paisley, Ashley Williams, Mark Declan, Keith Robinson, Susan Yegley, and Kevin Nealon. And there's going to be a lot of reading. The first one is, in these interconnected movies, Jennifer and Meg Swift are sisters who couldn't be closer despite living hours apart. Jennifer is in Salt Lake running a successful restaurant she started with her late husband and raising her teenage son, Simon. Meg stayed in their hometown of Hazelwood, helping their parents run the local bakery. The Christmas is the family's first since the passing of Uncle Dave, who owned the town's beloved theater, the Madison, where many memories were made over the years. When Jennifer and Simon return home for the holiday, they become wistful for one more Christmas at the Madison. Despite that it's for sale and in need of repairs. Meanwhile, Meg is helping Jennifer's restaurant staff in Salt Lake prepare for a Christmas competition among local restaurateurs, with the winner earning money for the charity of its choice. With the sisters switching cities leading up to the holiday, they find a new sense of purpose and discover what they both truly need in life and in love. Woo, that's the first part.
That's the first. I thought it was for both. It's not for both.
No, that's the first part.
Oh no.
And this is directed by Sean McNamara, writers Eric Patterson, Jessica Scott, and Claire Boyles is the team. All right. So then the second one is Meg Swift comes to Salt Lake City from her hometown in Hazelwood to see her sister Jennifer, who runs a local restaurant in town. Still feeling the effects of losing their Uncle Dave, a change of scenery and a project to dive into is just what she needs. When Jennifer and her teenage son Simon return to Hazelwood home for a pre-holiday visit with their family, Meg offers to help Jennifer's staff prepare for a competition among local restaurants that awards the winner money for the charity of their choice. As effusive Meg works alongside the more reserved Joe, the restaurant's manager, the two find their differences are what make them a great team. Swapping cities with her sister leads Meg to her next chapter and also just might bring her an unexpected romance. So what do you think of this whole thing that they're doing here with the Williams sisters?
I am fascinated by the premise, like the idea of like, we're going to have two interconnected movies. I think that's such a ambitious pitch, especially for like the Hallmark audience, which doesn't really like connected universes. Like, I think it's really quite a, kind of single movie sort of prospect investment, whatever. But I'm excited about it. I don't think either of the movies on their own sound especially gripping, but I think the concept has drawn me in. I'll probably give it like a nice pair of socks.
I mean, and it helps a lot that just seeing the two of them together in a movie is very exciting, and they're so likable. They have such great screen presence. I'm assuming they have chemistry. I don't think they've ever done a movie together, so that's exciting. And I love, both of them. So I'm going to give it an orange. I'm very hopeful that it'll work, but we'll see for both of them. And we are going to have Mel and Dory from All the Feels to recap that one. So that we're going to wait and recap them after the second one and do a whole episode just on those two. So that's the plan currently. Okay. Then on the 10th of December, we have A Dickens of a Holiday on Hallmark Channel. This stars Christopher Paloha, Brooke D'Orsay, director Paul Ziller, writers Mark Hefty and Julie Sherman-Wolf. And it's to make the 100th anniversary of her hometown's Victorian Festival success. Cassie invites action movie star and former high school classmate Jake to play in A Christmas Carol. So what do we think? I mean, last time they tried to do like a riff on Christmas Carol, it starred Jesse Schramm, so I enjoyed it and it had all these country music singers and stuff. But like, it was the only version of Christmas Carol I've ever seen in my life where people were literally begging to work with the Scrooge character. She was not a Scrooge at all. I hope that Christopher will have sort of a Scrooge arc in this. And I think that he could be really funny in that and it could work. And Brooke D'Orsay is obviously really great. And I feel like she needs a hit. Like the last 3-4 movies have just not been great since Miss Christmas. And I always love her, but so we'll see on this one. I'm hopeful. I love all things Christmas Carol. So I'm going to give this an orange. We'll see. What do you think?
Yeah, I am rooting for anyone who can actually get their Charles Dickens Festival Hallmark movie made. So I'm giving this an orange. Maybe one day we'll see mine. Who knows?
Right.
But it's a writer I love. It's a concept I obviously love. So fingers crossed. I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. We are going to be covering that one individually as well, because we're going to have Alonso Duralde on, because we did a whole episode on Christmas Carol with him, ranking Christmas carols, and then he was on for the Nashville Christmas Carol episode, and so I thought it would be perfect to have him on for this. So, all right, then on the 10th or the 11th, we have A Royal Queen's Christmas. This stars Megan Park and Julianne Morris. And so for this one, the summary: a prince finds his way to Queens during Christmas when a local woman enlists his help with a children's Christmas show. And so, this stars Megan Park and Julianne Morris. And this is her second kind of princess-y movie, Once Upon a Prince, which is really good.
Love that one.
Yeah, that was really good. I don't know. What do you think about this one?
I actually only watched that one because you guys recommended it on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And then I read the book. Yeah.
The book's good too.
So good. Oh, the book's really good. I'm excited about this one. I am obviously a huge fan of Coming to America. I'm assuming this will not be the same as that, but the vibe is there. I'm excited. I'll give it an orange.
This is totally not a Christmas movie or a Hallmark movie, but just a shout out, Megan Park. She directed and wrote a movie that was the South by Southwest called The Fallout, and it is an excellent film. It's about a school shooting, so it's totally opposite of Hallmark, but it was very well done, very well acted, very emotional, and so that's a really great accomplishment, and I was very excited for her for that. So if you're up for that kind of content and you see it, you should check it out. It was very good. Okay, then we have A Godwink Christmas Miracle of Love. This is on the 11th of December. Hallmark News Mysteries, Kat Barrel, and Alberto Frezza. And it's: now that Joy has completed her education, she's ready to fulfill her dream of becoming a nurse and follow in her late mother's footsteps. Back at home before the holiday and with no job on the horizon, Joy's interest is piqued by a volunteer opportunity out of town. There she meets Eric, who is also at a crossroads. As they become immersed in the effort to build a new home for a family at Christmas, Joy and Eric both find a new sense of purpose. Through a series of coincidences or godwinks and a medical miracle, they begin to believe in destiny. It's kind of funny that, Kat Barrel, because she played a character named Joy in Good Witch. So people just see her as Joy. I don't know. My feeling about these Godwink movies is I just wish they would pick a side. I feel like they're trying to kind of make something for the faith-based camp, but they're not going all the way. Like, you never see characters pray. You hardly ever see them at like a church or, that kind of dogma that you associate with a faith-based film, which I think would be fine to have one if it's done well. I'm fine with that. But then it's too much on that side for people that aren't just interested in that kind of content. So I feel like it's sort of, it pleases nobody, and it's not that the performances aren't good, but it's just like in this weird middle ground where they're just trying not to offend anybody. So they do nothing. That's my problem with these movies. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm in the same camp, especially when it comes to medical stuff. Like when you say medical miracle, I am assuming that the Lord did it. Like that is, so if you don't put and it's such a weird gray area, because it's like, okay, well, my best friend died of cancer when I was 18. Did God not wink at him? Right, yeah. I've never seen these movies, but I think kind of conceptually they make me a little uncomfy, especially as a believer. So it makes me ask questions I don't want to be asking at Christmas of the Lord.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this a lump of coal. I'm sorry. I'm just probably not gonna watch it. I'm sorry, baby
Mhm.
Jesus. I'm not gonna watch your Godwink movie.
Yeah, I am also gonna give it a coal, but I hope it will be good. We'll see. Okay, then in that one, those two movies, we are gonna have Terry Wilson on, because she loves all things royal. So the first thing I think of, and so that'll be really fun. All right, then we have on the 18th, we have The Christmas House 2, Deck the Halls. And this is on Hallmark Channel, and it's Robert Buckley, Anna and Yara, Jonathan Bennett, Sharon Lawrence, Treat Williams, Brad Harder, and it's just the Mitchells brothers compete to see who can create the best Christmas house. And we talked about this last time, but I really feel like this is going to be fun. I think we're going to get to see more of the brothers, and maybe less of like the relationship between Robert Buckley and Anna. And I think that will be for the movie's benefit. And hopefully won't have that kind of are the parents divorcing kind of plot. This will just be super fun. I'm looking forward to seeing the baby more and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a diamond ring. I hope it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this an orange. I love everyone. This cast is totally stacked. And I think it sounds
Mhm.
like a really fun kind of like rivalry Christmas movie, which we don't necessarily see platonically in Hallmark movies. So I'm excited to see sort of brothers feuding. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah, I think so too. Okay, then we have Christmas for Keeps. This on the 18th. Hallmark Movies Mysteries. This stars Ashley Newbrow, Ryan Rotman, Krista B. Allen, and Mariella Scott. And it's at Christmas time, a close-knit group of childhood friends returns home after 10 years to take part in the celebration of life of their beloved high school teacher. This is like the Big Chill Hallmark style, is what it sounds like. So I we don't know that much. I'm gonna give this a sock, but I hope it'll be good.
Yeah, sounds kind of sad, but I'm gonna give it a sock.
Mhm. All right, last one before we go into Hallmark movies now is "'Tis the Season to Be Merry," and this on Hallmark Channel, and then it's on the 19th. And Rachel Lee Cook, Travis Van Winkle, Karen Mena White, director Gary Yates, who's done tons of these, writer Jen Kirkman, and Dwayne Poole. And it's looking for a fresh angle to her book on relationships. Mary heads to snow-covered Vermont. She finds a new perspective and Christmas cheer with charismatic aid worker Chris. So I think this sounds pretty fun. I'm going to give it an orange. I like Rachel Lee Cook, Travis Van Winkle can be good, and Gary Yates usually does good stuff. So yeah, I'm going to give it an orange.
Yeah, I I've tried to pitch an anthropologist Christmas movie, like someone who just like is a total nerd and is trying to understand why we do weird Christmas traditions.
Oh yeah.
So I sort of am rooting for this movie to be about a super nerdy woman who's just super into relationships, just like taking notes on all the people that she observes in this kind of like real life nature preserve of people. I would love that to be true. So just on the basis of my dreams alone, I'm giving it an orange.
Yeah. Yeah. And right now we have planned Marissa Serafini to be on that weekend, or I mean, that's obviously way in advance. So we'll see. But that's the current plan. So we have two movies that are going to Hallmark Movies now, and one of them is Sugar Plum Twist. This is going to be on there on the 2nd of December, and it's Jamie Gray, Hader, Hector Rivera, Laura Rosger, and it's after failing to get the coveted role of the Sugar Plum Fairy in this year's production of The Nutcracker. Viviana, an aspiring ballerina, joins forces with Natalia, a retiree from the New York Ballet, to create a surprise reprise of the dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy with a Latin twist. And I'm mostly excited for this movie because we are going to have Lila Fitzgerald on to recap this movie, and she's a real ballerina. And she came on to recap Julie's movie from Taking a Shot at Love, and it was super fun. And so we're going to have that a standalone episode. And so I'm looking forward to the podcast almost more than the movie. But it sounds fun to me. So I'm going to give it an orange.
Yeah, I think it sounds good. I'm gonna give it like a nice pair of socks.
We had this last time, It's Every Time a Bell Rings on the 18th of November. Erin Cahill, Brittany Ishibashi, Ali Liebert, Wes Brown. And it's three sisters reunite in their hometown of Natchez, Mississippi at Christmas after a long time apart. They're surprised to discover their late father had planned one last scavenger hunt for them to find the family's wooden wishing bell, a beloved annual holiday tradition when they were young. As they search for clues in the days leading up to Christmas, the trio visits local childhood haunts around Natchez and holds special meaning for them. In the process, their sisterly bond is rekindled, and each learns an important lesson about what they want in life and love. So
I think it sounds like garbage. This is Cole.
Cole.
This should not be on television. Don't watch it. 0 out of 10.
I didn't mention the writer there because the writer is here. This is so exciting. Yay. So how did you get the idea for this movie?
This was actually something that I developed with Erin Cahill herself. She is a producer on this movie, and she really wanted to write something where she could do like a really kind of heavily family-based movie. She wanted to write something about like parents and children and siblings and kind of our legacies. And so we went together and we talked for a long time. Did most of my kind of early pandemic of 2020 was on Zoom calls with Erin and our producer, Daniel Lewis, talking about this movie and what we wanted it to be. And so I kind of went away and wrote for a while. And then we brought on another writer who had worked with Erin before on Love, Fall, and Order. And we got together and we fine-tuned and eventually came up with the movie you'll see on Hallmark Movies Now and hopefully on Hallmark Channel some point during Christmas.
Yeah, that's very exciting. That's so cool. And I'm looking forward to it. It'll be on the 18th on Hallmark Movies Now. So I'll definitely be checking that out. And the plan is to cover that with Betsy from Hallmark Happenings, and Carrie is going to be on that one too. So it should be fun. We're going to do that one standalone for that. So
I hope it's not bad. Yikes.
Yeah. No, I'm sure it'll be good. But let us know what you think. What are you looking forward to in these movies? If you're listening, we would love to hear your thoughts and what ranking you'd give them, where you're hopeful, what you thought of the one so far. Put in the comment section. We'd love to hear. And Alys, how can people follow you?
I'm at writer Alys. Alys is ALYS on Twitter and Instagram.
Great. And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So please check that out. And also you can follow the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our merch store and we have our Patreon group. Please take a look at that. All the information is in the description. So thank you so much, Alys. I really appreciate it, especially coming back twice. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye, everyone.